We're back.
Oh,
You guys probably saw that we did a few videos months ago when I had the gallery, and since then the gallery's closed down. But we wanted to still keep doing these videos just to give you guys some information on mental illness. The videos we did were from my standpoint, so I'm one person in a sea of 50 million plus people dealing with mental illness. So I wanted to give you guys a little idea of some other people and what they're going through. I sat down with, state your name,
Kitty Taberry.
before we started shooting this, just to give her some kind of ideas. We don't have a format for these videos, so I like to let people just kind of shoot from the hip or go however they want. So before we start that, two things. Any of you guys out there that are watching these videos or paying attention, if any of you guys want to get involved, you have a story, you got something you want to say, just contact me, Ken Tomorrow on Facebook or Good Day Moon Gallery on Facebook. And after we get done with these, we're going to try to do a few more. We want to get your feedback on these. I'm interested in what you guys think. You know, are they doing anything for you? Do they suck? You want us to go away? Whatever. Please give us your feedback on these. So with that, I am going to kind of turn it over to Kitty, just to let her tell you her take on what she's going through.
My name is Kitty Taberry, and I've been asked to do a little video of something that I have been struggling with since I was a teenager. So needless to say, it's not going to all get resolved or get mentioned, but I think it's important to know that I was first diagnosed as being manic depressive when I was 19 years old. Now what prompted that, I couldn't tell you. I just know that I couldn't handle my sadness anymore. So fast forward, I lived in San Francisco for 30 years, quite the party girl, and I needed to get sober in 2013. So I did that, and it made me realize that I'm dealing with all these new things with a brand new look. I'm not numbing myself anymore. And that's a big one. That's a big one when you try to get yourself through some, rapid cycling bipolar, which is what they tell me now I have. That's been about 4 years. So I don't know if my depression led to the bipolar or if the bipolar was there all the time. Probably never know that. I'm proactive with the help that I get. I see a nurse practitioner once a month. I see the psychiatric doctor whenever she feels there's a need for that. So right now, the thing of it is I'm sure you've heard it say a lot, that antidepressants and the like take a long time to do what they're supposed to do, and there's no guarantee. You could be on 10 of them and not one of them is going to work for you. Right now I do take an antidepressant. I take antidepressant booster, and I take a nighttime medicine to sleep, Seroquel, and it helps me sleep a lot, thank goodness. I'm never the kind of depressed person that would sleep all day. I'm not that lucky. I can't go to sleep when I have a lot on my mind, and when I know what's on my mind really shouldn't be on my mind. That's something I just learned here while I just said it. Things that I try to do other than medication and seeing the nurse practitioner is I try to find some peace in, going for a walk, but sometimes I won't go because I just feel too mean and ugly and pissed off at the world. So I'm not going to go out there. I'm not going out there. It's hard enough to get through jobs. I have a job as a cashier in market, and I think it's amazing that all day long people say to me, oh, you have the best attitude and you never let anything upset you, when the reality is so different. It's so very different. I just sometimes want to throttle people and say, don't you see what's in here? Because what's in here isn't always good. One thing about having rapid cycle bipolar is my downs won't last for weeks, but on the other side my ups won't last for weeks either. It's very changeable. You know, one day could be fine, the next day I'm ready to do, you know, nothing, which is what I try to do. So I do what I have to do. I get up, I go to my job, and I basically fake it till it's time to come home. And being in recovery, I go to quite a few meetings. So after I schlep home on the bus, 2 buses, by the way, don't forget, my car got stolen, not once but twice in Cleveland. Second time it didn't come back. Anyway, I'll go to meetings in the evening, and then I try to keep Sunday kind of open, unless I'm doing something with family. I like to do what I darn well want to do, because I don't get to have too many days like that. It's been very hard on me living in San Francisco for 30 years to come back to Ohio and make friends. That's really hard, because a lot of people my age, you know, are married, they have their kids, they have their grandkids, and not that many people out there, in my opinion, are looking, you know, for a 55-year-old pal to pal around with. But there are exceptions, and there are a lot of people in that program and in my life now that keep it on a bit more even keel. I know what to do now, and I know what I have to do now. And those two aren't always on the same page, but I'd be lost without it. Like I said, I pretend I'm fine until I step out the door. I can, you know, get in that autopilot mode and get my clothes on that I need to wear. But the minute I step out the door, I have instant anxiety. Instant. It's awful. A lot of times I just wake up with it. And of course, being in recovery, you know, alcohol and addiction, I don't get to have all those drugs that make you feel good. Although we all know there isn't one drug to make you feel good. But yeah, I can't take benzos for anxiety. I can't take, you know, prescription medicines, that kind of a thing. So I'm just learning to deal with it the first time. And I can't say that enough, because it's really hard. It's really hard. My family, they're a pretty good family. I shouldn't put it that well, but let's just say when I was in active addiction, they loved me, but they didn't like me. And I get it now, and I get why it took me so long, and why I had to prove to people, you know, that I really was okay, gonna be okay if I take it one day at a time. And that's about all I can do. Some days I can't do one day, I'll do a half hour and then take a rest, and a half hour and take a rest. Because I can't, when I wake up in the morning, I can't bear the thought of living for another 24 hours. I don't know. In 2002, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And this is so sick, but what I thought when I got told that, the first thing I thought of was, oh, I'll get to have any kind of pain pill I want. I mean, how selfish is that? So I went through it, you know, and for months I didn't think I would make it through it, but I made it through, and to me it was like, oh, this is a legitimate reason to die. It just horrifies me that I say that, and this is what I was thinking at the time. No lie. So then after I had my surgery and medicine and radiation and all that, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna die. Oh, well, this changes things. And so I'm glad I made it through that. Don't ever want to go through that again. I don't know. I live in a neighborhood now that's, you know, a little bit rough, but I have a lot of sanctuary in the home that I live in. I like it a lot. It's pretty civilized, nice and quiet, which I think people in recovery maybe need peace and quiet. So, I don't know if that's my story. You know, I'm grateful for the friends that I have made here, and I'm grateful for the friends that stood by me for 30 years in San Francisco. I've even had some of them say, I didn't know you had a problem. I'm like, oh my God, these are friends and they really don't know me. I'm Catholic also, talk about religion. I am lucky to have been raised Catholic and not be told you're just a, what do they call it? Basic, I can't think of the word. Basic, non-forgiving God. And I disagree with that. I mean, I go to mass because I like the way I feel when I walk out. It's very similar to an AA meeting, actually, the feeling, not the meeting, but the feeling. If I'm gonna go do something that makes me feel good, why wouldn't I do that every day? So I found new things that help me find good, because back years and years, you know, you go back and forth against the church, any church, you know, whatever. But, you know, I'm grateful to have it now. It gives me some peace. And, although I make a lot of jokes about things, I do, I make a lot of jokes about things.
You and me both.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so inappropriate sometimes, but
You have to see the humor in life.
yeah, at least see my humor in life.
You have no idea how many inappropriate jokes I make.
I believe that. But yeah, I mean, people tell me, oh, you should be a stand-up comedian. I'm like, don't you see this fucking depressed person inside? What's the matter with you? What makes you think that? So another person would say it, another person would say it, another person. I think it's just our sarcastic wit. And I'm stuck with it, and sometimes it gets me in trouble because people think I'm being mean. That's another thing. When I'm in the throes of my depression, I turn into a mean person, inside and out. I think nothing but negative thoughts. I think nothing of doing, I mean, I would want to, you know, hit somebody over the head. But I don't want to be that person, and I don't have to be that person, but it's constant. And, you know, you've heard people say that, you know, depression feels like a dark cloud over your head, and I've always described it as like kind of being struck by lightning. It's like a flip of a switch, and you're like, whoa, what just happened here? If the switch is going down, that's kind of a bad thing. But when the switch goes up, it's like, you know, a lot of pain and angst have left me, left my body. I just can't figure out why I can't stand like this on an everyday basis. I don't fully understand it. I don't know if anybody fully understands depression, but it is what it is. And, you know, having had cancer and having had depression, I'll tell you, my cancer went into remission long before my depression did. And I just can't say enough that, you know, you gotta seek help where you can. I'm at a large county hospital, so I don't always get the name brand drugs, I get the generics. I don't get the more current drugs that they've come out with that are supposed to be better. But I don't know what to say about that either. I'm just grateful that I have access there and I don't have to pay any money to go there, and, you know, that won't last forever, I know that's for sure. But I have to go for it now, while I can now. And what else? I don't know what to say. Like Ken said, you know, if one person watches this, and, you know, I made some kind of impact just using my words, then I'm really honored to be doing this, in a lot of ways, doing this. Because I never would have thought of doing something like this on my own. And I have since gone on YouTube for different videos about it. Ooh-wee, some of them are pretty shocking, but it's always the same. You know, it's just something we can't handle, it's a disease we can't handle, and it'll probably be with me. And all I can do is, you know, savor the good days. Savor the good days. Oh, I think that's it.
That's it? You good?
That's it, I'm good.
That was impressive.
Thank you, Ken.
Alright, that's the first one.
Are you gonna make me look at myself now?
Nah, I'll